Turn on that sound. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, 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 hey.
Hey, hey, hey. Right here. It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave.
And James.
Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
It is Church Chat Wednesday. I am Pastor Dan.
And I'm Pastor Dave.
And over there pushing buttons and making magic happen, as always, is none other than James Adkins. Wow.
Yeah, I got that plugged in today.
I like that. I like that. And also Tucker over there chewing on cables and cords and, you know, doing whatever else dogs do. So
Yeah. If I have to jump up all of a sudden, everyone will know why.
yeah, it's something to do with the dog. So, yep. Dave, you've got a dog, but you also have something else going on, some other sort of live creatures or something like that. What's going on, Dave? No. No.
So yesterday I got 2 chickens.
Oh, no.
And they spent all evening in the hen house.
Okay.
Right about dusk, they decided to come out.
So wait, back up real quick for anybody that's a new viewer. You've had chickens in the past.
Yes.
There's been something you've done in the past. You got rid of them. You said never again.
No, I didn't say never again. What I said was 6 is too many.
Okay.
Because
so you got
pooping on each other.
So you got 2.
I didn't like that. So I got 2, and woke up this morning and there's feathers everywhere.
Oh no!
all over.
What happened?
At least you hadn't got attached to it.
What happened?
All over my yard, all over the neighbor's yard. So,
Dave.
So apparently some kind of predator had a $40 meal. You know,
Dave.
So they're gone.
Now, like, did you sleuth this out? Like, is there any, like you said, some sort of predator? I mean, are we talking Bigfoot? Are we talking?
Here's the thing: we live on the south end, and we're about, we're one street from Park Street, and then there's the railroad tracks.
Right.
And I
could
know
have been anything. Chupacabra.
On our alley, we've seen fox before. We have this ginormous raccoon that's about the size of a beach ball that runs around there. So I'm sure he gets in a lot of stuff. Actually, when James gave me the old chicken hut, the very first day before I even had chickens in there, I found that big fat guy in there. He had even unlocked the door and everything. So something had a nice meal. Fresh chicken.
I'm sorry.
Can't beat it.
I'm sorry. So that explains why this morning you asked if I want to get rid of it. If I want to give you a couple of chickens, I'm like, now I'm thinking, why? Are you just feeding this mystery predator?
Here's the thing, though. They were there and gone before Heidi even knew we had them.
Dave hates chickens so much that he just wants everybody's chickens to get rid of them.
That's right.
So Heidi, is this Heidi finding out? Not that she watches, but is this Heidi finding out that you had chickens again?
No, because this morning I said, "Look at all those feathers back there," and she said, "What?" And I said, "Yeah, I put a couple chickens in there last night, and they're gone."
Kelly says maybe Chick-fil-A needed them.
She said, "I don't want chickens." I said, "Well, you don't have them anymore, so
I'm glad you don't want them.
Don't worry."
Oh my goodness!
So that's my chicken update.
Wow, that was a brief chicken update. You got 0 eggs out of this deal? Didn't even have time to lay an egg?
0 eggs. They were pretty chickens too.
That's too bad. I'm sorry for your chickens.
Kelly seems to think that Adeline went over there and took them to give them to Chick-fil-A.
It could be.
I've
heard rumors that there's a chicken shortage. It's maybe this predator's fault.
She was going then because there's like a blazing trail of leaves or feathers.
Wow, it's kind of a morbid and grotesque way to start the show, Dave.
Well.
That's nature, though. That's National Geographic version of Church Chat today.
So, other than that, soccer update.
Oh yeah, how's Gabe doing?
Here's the thing: we don't take score
Right.
for 3 and 4-year-olds.
But you do.
But if we did, the green team crushes everybody.
Are you the green team?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, if we did take score, I think the first week would be something like 7-2,
Okay.
and last week would be 8-0.
Gotcha.
But we don't take score. So,
But you do.
yes.
The Mean Green, wasn't that a soccer
Green team,
Wasn't
yes.
wasn't the Mean Green a like 80s or 90s kid soccer movie?
Yes, it was. Now, I always let my kids name the movie, name our team.
Uh-huh.
And
What did they come up
this
with?
one came up. This one was handed to us as you guys are green because they did it all by colors.
Oh, okay.
So
So
'cause
you're
I've had
So
the-
what is it?
the wild monkeys. I've had everything
Right.
you could think, but this it's just green.
You're just the green.
Yeah,
Kind of like the Cincinnati Reds.
yeah. There's green. There's red. There's orange. There's purple. There's.
It's not very creative.
I know. I'm
That's
like, let
kind
us
of
name
lame.
ourselves. Like we want to be the Murder Hornets or something.
The Murder Hornets.
Yeah.
That's all terrifying for like 3 and 4-year-olds, isn't it?
I don't know. I have one kid on the team. His name is Hudson Hammer.
It's a great name.
That's a great name.
That kid's going places.
Because we were talking about that at one point. Like, why can't you name your kids cool stuff like Jackknife or Fat Tony the Enforcer?
Apparently you
yeah.
can.
But he hasn't already. He's been blessed with a great name.
Yeah.
Hudson Hammer. He's going to be a
Excellent.
judge or something.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
That could be cool. So, coming up, and I'll give you a little bit of update what's going on with me, but want to let you know that our guest today is Dr. Jane Wood, who's the president of Bluffton University. It's May Day week at Bluffton. This is their finals week, and then they kind of do like this celebration during this time, and graduation then coming this Saturday, which is very cool because Holly is graduating with her MBA, so she'll be at graduation. The last time she was at a Bluffton graduation was when we graduated in 05. So she actually graduated December of 04. She graduated December 17th of 2004. We got married December 18th of 2004. And then by the time graduation rolled around in May of 05, Holly was like 3 months pregnant. So she had the maternity. It'll be nice for her to not be pregnant going into a graduation at Bluffton. I'm sure she's excited for that. I'm sure she's excited for just it's just her. So Adeline was actually at the last of her graduations. How about that?
Wonder if she'll remember the music or anything.
I don't think she does. Yeah. I don't think she does. But yeah, so excited for her to have that coming up. So we've got like this big next few weeks coming up because we've got that. And then we've actually, I don't know if anybody else remembers this, but our house has been on the market for a little while. We've sold our house. We're not leaving St. Mark's. Nobody panic. But we're just moving onto the family farm just outside of Findlay here. So we're actually going to be moving like Memorial Day weekend. So we've got like this crazy next month coming up with all of that.
And
but,
Heidi made me say congratulations.
Listen, you need to stop being bitter and angry in life about like what's going on with me. My circumstances don't need to affect
but you're
your
so
mood.
close right now.
I'm gonna come see you. When do we hang out? Except for in James's house, anyway.
Well, a couple times a year. Football season.
Season.
This year was a little different. Circumstances were
It was a little bit weird.
a little bit
Right.
different. We're in a pandemic.
Right.
Jeez.
So that is one thing that St. Mark's folks, you're going to see coming out before too long. I'm going to go ahead and tease it with you right now. We are going to be sending out an email and a letter and stuff like that, letting you know that Dave and I would love to just catch up with you. We'd love to be able to, anybody that wants to. We're going to have signups for getting together for half an hour for coffee, or just having a phone call, or meeting at the church, or us coming over to your house, whatever you want. But we just love to have a chance to kind of catch up with everybody. We've noticed that, like, since the pandemic and everything, that it's been hard to keep tabs on, what's going on with everybody. And there's a lot of people we just haven't had a chance to talk with for a while. So watch for that to be coming out here before too long. We're going to be doing that together. So it'll be exciting.
How often is it that you just, it's kind of out of sight, out of mind.
Right.
And then every once in a while you're like, oh, yeah, I haven't seen so-and-so.
Right. Well, and that's been one of the kind of unique things that I've noticed over the last several weeks, especially as we've opened back up and more people are starting to come back. I'll see somebody show up and be like, holy cow, I haven't probably seen you since Rona.
Yeah.
And so it's probably been last spring sometime, spring of, March of 2020 since I've seen you last. And so it's cool to be able to kind of catch back up in that way. And I just kind of want to touch base with people and just see, kind of what's going on in everybody's lives. What's going on with you? Wonder how you're doing. So yeah, if you want to have coffee with us, and if you're like, you know what, I'm totally good having you at arm's length, then that's fine too. You won't hurt our feelings.
Nope.
You'll hurt Dave's feelings.
We've been totally vaccinated. So.
Yep. We're all vaxxed up.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Happy to come out and see whoever, but know that some people, especially if they've had underlying health conditions or whatever, have tried to stay pretty cautious. So totally get that, and that is fine. But yeah, if you'd like to, we'd love to be able to get together with you and hang out. So we also have some kind of cool stuff coming up at church. We've talked about the 6Ks coming up on the 22nd. So make sure you sign up for that. If you have not yet, we want you to sign up and come out and run. And that's going to be out at Emory Adams Park. And that's a lot of fun. 23rd, we're going to be doing all the baptisms and all those things. Next couple of Sundays, we have some people who are going to be coming in and speaking that are going to be really good. Barry Burns, our district superintendent, is this week. Doug Kendrick, who's been a part of this church for a long time, and he's studying to become a pastor. He's going to be next week. And then we'll be coming back in and doing all these baptisms and everything. So a lot of really, really cool stuff coming down the pike. So hopefully you will be able to be around for some of that. And then after that, we've got Vacation Bible School coming up in June. And I don't know if she's told you this yet, but Corinne was talking to me a little bit this morning, and she's got some ideas for some promos for Vacation Bible School. Now, the theme is the Olympics, and so she's like, wouldn't it be cool if we did like this montage of like you and Dave, and you've got the sweatbands on and you're running,
and something's chasing you?
It's like, in what way is this cool? But she's got ideas that there's going to be some sort of, that we're involved in the advertisement in some sort of athletic way.
Oh, nice. Well, I mean, you look at me and you say, athlete.
Natural athlete.
Yes.
Natural.
I'm
Well,
like
you
a
shared that you were like some
chubby
crazy
little
good soccer player.
Ninja. Yeah.
Chubby little ninja.
I'm like stealthy.
You seem like one of those guys. Are you one of those guys who, like, you just go out on the basketball court and you can just drain threes like it's nothing? Because you kind of look like that guy.
I would say that there's not a lot of sports that I took a big interest in, but I am a little bit naturally athletic.
So you could just go out there and drain threes.
Yes.
I totally can see that.
But, like, to be on a basketball team, nah.
No,
That was never my
that's
thing.
different.
Yeah.
But you could be that
But
guy.
we used to play at the Y almost every single day.
I mean, I could see it. Like it's kind of like, it feels like a dad thing. Like there's just those dads that can go out there and you're like, in their suit, in the full suit, in the tie, just out in the driveway. Hey, sport, throw me the ball, and like just doesn't matter.
Now
every
my
time.
kids, when we would wrestle and that kind of thing, I would always like get pretty dirty.
Yeah.
Because I was like, there's no way you are ever going to beat me. I just will not. So I know, Lauren, you're a 220-pound wrestler, but I have to find a way to win.
You got to find a way.
Yes.
You're You're gonna do what you got to do to survive and
Yes.
to make that happen. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. James, I don't want to steal any of your thunder. How we doing?
Good. I just had something weird come up, so just one more minute.
Okay, one more minute. So in just a minute, we'll be talking with Jane Wood from Bluffton University. She's the president at Bluffton, and it's been cool to get to know her. Before we get into talking with her, just something else that's kind of been kind of exciting. I think church-wise is it's been really cool as I've seen people come back. We've also had what has been a unique phenomenon. We've had several new people, like just brand new, who have started showing up, and so it makes me kind of wonder, like, we've talked in the past about what kind of effect is the online viewing actually having, and how are people kind of experiencing that. And from several that I've talked to, it's like, yeah, that was kind of how I found you guys, is in the middle of the pandemic, in the middle of all this, you guys are doing your online services, and that's how we found you. And so then they've started coming, and now, like, this November, I'm going to be doing one of their weddings, and it's just like this kind of new thing. So you just never know. You never know all the blessings that are kind of coming out of this kind of thing.
The silver lining, if you will.
Yes, the silver lining, exactly.
And we do have our guest ready, if you guys are ready.
We are ready.
All right. Bring her on right now.
All right.
Oh, she's here.
All right, Dr. Wood, this is Pastor Dan and Pastor Dave. How are you doing?
Good to see you both. Can you hear me?
We can. Thanks so much for taking a little bit of time. I know that this is a busy week at Bluffton. Got a lot of different events going on for May Day week. It's a little bit different than it's been in the past, but this is May Day week is kind of a big deal at Bluffton, isn't it?
It is. May Day has been traditionally the time when our alumni gather and classes meet up, and just, spring and a beautiful time to be on campus. But because of COVID, we are doing May Day virtually, just as you were talking about. You've done a lot of things virtually, and so that does make things different. But on the other hand, people who can't travel are now able to participate. So that's a blessing.
Yeah, I saw that you have, like, there's Zoom class reunions and different things like that. What are some of the events that are happening this week?
Yep. So we have tonight, we actually have alumni can call in and have a Zoom with me. So that's fun to share what's going on the campus with all of our alumni who would like to join. And then we do, as you said, have class reunions. We show a video montage of past May Day performances, so people who like to see the maypole dance get to see that as well. So we try to simulate as much as we can people being here on campus.
So for people who don't know what the maypole dance is, this is something, now I didn't have to participate in it as a freshman, but freshmen, a select few freshmen, are chosen to dress up in lederhosen and do a dance with ribbons around the maypole.
I was just going to say, it sounds like something that you would have lederhosen.
That's exactly what it is. Multicolored lederhosen. And so my brother Kyle had to do it his freshman year because I was a senior, and the seniors get to choose which freshman.
Nice.
And so it worked out that way. So, well, I'm sorry that we won't get to see the lederhosen this year, but maybe next year.
That's right. Still plenty of fun things to do.
Yep, that's awesome. So you guys also have graduation coming up this weekend, and I was sharing I'm going to get to be there because my wife is graduating, so excited to see her get her MBA. How's graduation going to look a little different this year?
Yeah, we actually did graduation last year. We were one of the first colleges, universities in Ohio to actually have in-person graduation. So we did that last July, and we did it in the football stadium. We spaced everybody 6 feet apart. We had our graduates 6 feet apart on the playing field, and then I held the diploma out, and then they picked it up with their arm extended, and so everybody's still 6 feet apart as they walk across stage. So this is our second time, so we feel like veterans here.
Yeah.
But we just know how important it is to our students to have that experience. And so we're glad to be able to provide it. I know people are disappointed. They only get 2 tickets per student. On the other hand, I know of other institutions where there is no ability to see your student. walk across the stage. So we're glad to be at least able to do something.
Yeah, and that's been kind of, I feel like we've experienced the same thing. It's never as much as you hope you can do, but having something is always better than not having anything. And so, I'm thankful that that's able to happen in that way. And every institution's trying to do the best that they can. What's been some of the, you mentioned graduation and May Day, but what have been some of the ways that you have experienced, trying to lead a university through this time that's, something that, I'm sure you didn't foresee coming when you became president at Bluffton. What's that experience been like for you? And how have you seen some positive things come out of that?
Yeah, nobody obviously foresees a pandemic.
Right.
That's for sure. And for us, it meant basically redoing almost every single thing that we do. So 95% of our undergraduate students live on campus. And so one of the first things we had to decide was, are we going to allow students to have two people to a dorm room? And many institutions de-densified and went down to one student per room. We talked about it for a long time. We made a decision to go ahead and allow two people as normal to be in a residence hall room, in part because we were worried about the social isolation. I mean, we are made to be in communication, to be in relationship with one another. And we thought, students are going to have to come back in masks. They're going to be in masks in classrooms. They're going to be in masks in the dining hall, except for the brief period of time. We asked them to try to eat fast. Normally, we wouldn't encourage that, but try to eat in under 15 minutes because that's safer, and then put your mask back on. And so we thought it's important to have a roommate where you can take your mask off and just be yourself. Yeah. And so we did go ahead and do that. I am grateful that that has worked out for us. And so that was one of the early decisions, but we also de-densified all of our classrooms. So all the students were 6 feet apart in classes. We de-densified our dining hall. We didn't have faculty and staff in the dining hall. It was just students. So we really worked to keep environments as safe as possible. We didn't allow visitors on campus. So that was hard for us because, community is one of our core values, and we love having community members on campus and interacting with our students. But we said, you can walk through campus, please wear a mask, but nobody in the buildings, including faculty and staff, spouses, and children. Wow. So, we've been really careful and very grateful that we were able to have in-person learning for an entire year. And so that was huge. So blessings from the pandemic, gosh, knowing that people, lost people to COVID, knowing the grief that also surrounds this. I would say some of the silver linings is that we really recognize how much our students want to be in person. We wondered after the fall semester, right, being in masks, practicing basketball in masks, all the things our students had to do, like, will they really want to come back in the spring? And you know what they said to us? Absolutely. And our students came back in greater numbers in the spring than they had the previous spring, even with all the restrictions. So I think for us, it was even more reinforcement of what we do, that we're doing something well and right, even in a pandemic. And so I think that's been a silver lining. We also realize how much we do miss each other. Right. So I think just getting back to some kind of normal, being able to eat in the cafeteria with our students, like that's going to be a huge aha yay for me. And I always enjoyed it before, but now it's going to seem very special. So I think it's just reinforced the gratitude that we have for the work we do.
Absolutely. I can totally see that, and we were sharing something similar about, just the members of our congregation, we really do, miss each other and want to be around each other. And so, I totally understand that sentiment. Just kind of shifting gears into something, I know that you are also a person of faith. Bluffton is a faith-based institution. And so I was wondering, can you just share a little bit about how has being the president of Bluffton, how have you seen yourself living out your faith life, in the midst of your career?
Yeah. So, I have long seen my career as a calling. I know in some circles they don't use that kind of terminology anymore, but when I was a faculty member, I felt a real calling to mentor to the students. And then as I've gone into administration, that calling has only increased in terms of my wanting to really be available and be a servant leader to faculty, staff, and students. And I'll be honest, I don't know how presidents who don't have faith got through this year. I really don't. Anne Lamott says the two best prayers are thank you and please. And, I don't know how many times I would go to sleep at night saying, please, Lord, please, please, please let the decisions we're making be right. Because, we really had a task here that in bringing people back, we worried about their safety. We worried about faculty and staff safety. We worried about our student safety, especially in the fall when we didn't know as much about COVID as we do right now. And I don't think there was probably an hour that I didn't pray and say, God, please let us know, guide us, help us to do the right thing here for our campus community. And sitting in church, every Sunday saying, God, please lead us and remind me that we are not alone, that we do not walk alone, that we walk with you beside us. Recently, an alum who's a pastor gave me one of these. I don't know if you've seen them. It's a cross that's made to fit in your hand. And it's just this really lovely fit. And I thought, gosh, I wish I would have had this all very last year. Because I kept it in my purse, and it has been really lovely to bring out. And whenever we have a situation coming up or a decision to make, I've found myself putting my hand in it and saying, Lord, please be with us as we make these decisions. As a leadership team, as a cabinet, I have a wonderful leadership team. We start off every Monday with prayer. And we every person leads it. So we just go around the table, and there's 6 of us, and we just rotate that. And invariably on a Monday morning, who's ever praying will say, please, God, guide us in our decisions, that you are in front of every decision we make. So we try to the extent possible to be led and make decisions that are in line with our faith-based mission.
We've been privileged to have a few of your students who've attended and participated in our worship services, particularly in music. And I can say they're just high quality kids. I mean, they are the kind of kids that you just picture being, top. When you think of a top grade student, you think of them. And I just have to think that their college experience is playing into that. What makes Bluffton special for a student?
Gosh, you ask a president that question, I might go on for an hour or two. So many things make us special. One of the things that I think is really important about Bluffton University, and we have an alum here in Pastor Metzger, so he can certainly speak to this too. But I think the fact that we are a faith-based community, but we're very invitational. I am the first Methodist president of a Mennonite institution. And I also consider myself a Methonite because the tenets of the Mennonite tradition are, dovetail so nicely with my own. But I come from a long line of very committed Methodist women. And so that's an important part of my identity is my faith tradition. But I would say that because we're invitational, we say to any student who comes in, are you on a faith journey? If you are, wonderful. How can we help advance that? If you're not on a faith journey, let us help you find one. So if a student comes to us and they say, we're Catholic, we say, lovely. How can we help you be the best member of the Catholic community that you can be? And so our chapels every Thursday are very open. I think they're very invitational. And we really want to be encouragers of people in their faith, especially for Gen Z. As we know, Gen Z tends to want to do their own thing in their own way, and we want to encourage that and support all of our students in moving into a faith-based community. And I think that makes a difference. We also want to infuse our faculty and staff, the people who are guiding and leading people on campus, that they have a faith that they're following. So we don't ask anyone to sign a statement of belief, but we do ask them to talk about their spiritual beliefs when they apply for a job here. We ask them to talk about how how they see themselves fitting into our faith-based mission. And so I think that attracts a certain kind of individual to work here. And I think all of those combined make us a very special faith-based community.
Yeah. And I think a part of, going back to, I am an alumni, and just remember in my experience of, having professors like J. Denny Weaver, who was a religion professor, but then having, others, some who are still there, Perry Bush or Randy Keeler. I remember even one of my science professors, Bob Suter, all of these different people who they were so good at educating you, but then also kind of encouraging you, saying, you're coming in with your own preconceived things, your life experience, your faith, whatever, and we want to encourage that. But we also want to challenge you and say, hey, where's I know you've always thought this certain way. What about this? What about these things? And help you to kind of, in such a way that you're able to kind of tear it down and make it your own. Be able to say, all right, I've taken the faith, of my parents or of my youth pastor or whatever. And now I've kind of instead of just taking everything that they said, I'm able to take that and hold it up to all of this other information and figure out, all right, so who am I and what do I believe? And that's one of the things I really valued about my experience. And I see that still in, in Amy and Olivia and Spencer and all of them that have been coming and been a part of our church, watching them go through those experiences as well. It's been a great thing. It's been really cool.
Yeah.
So
good. I'm so glad to hear that.
Yeah, absolutely. They're of course, products of Bluffton are some of the best. They're just some of the best.
Yeah, almost as good as Oilers, right?
Yeah. Hey, we love the Oilers too. It's fine. What are some of the things that you are excited about coming up? You're getting close to the end. I'm sure one of the things you're excited about is getting through this school year. But then looking at next school year, what are some of the things you're excited about coming up?
Yeah, so one of the things we're really excited about is what we call the Bluffton Blueprint. And I think that's ready to go in the chat for people who might be interested in looking at it. And this is a set of 4 courses that have experiences attached to them that ask our students really faith-based mission questions. So the freshman year, we ask students to think about, who am I? And we ask them to do an inventory, to think about their strengths, to think about their spiritual journey, to think about their careers, to think about all of these kinds of things. So the question for becoming a scholar, that course is, who am I? And then our students are going to go, and I'm really excited about this, we're going to put our entire freshman class on buses and take them down to the Great Smoky Mountains for a retreat.
That's so cool.
And we want them to bond. We want them to get to know each other outside of, I am a music major, or I like to, whatever, play basketball, or whatever their sport is. We want to get them to know each other as people. We also want to have a time for spiritual reflection. Where are they on their faith journey? Again, that gentle encouragement, and ask them to think about their majors as well. What is God calling you to do? What is your vocation? Just to gently do that, because we know that one of the number one anxiety producing things for students is, what am I going to major in? So we just want to provide some structure for that their freshman year. And core value of community, get them to know one another in a way that's outside of our campus. We do have some zip lining involved in that, some hiking in the Great Smoky Mountains. So we think that's going to be a really special time. Our campus pastor will be going. So we think that's just going to be a really great time for everyone.
Very cool.
Then part of the Bluffton Blueprint, their sophomore year, is they're going to be doing mini internships in the regional community to help them look at, the question is, who am I in community? So to say to our students, who am I? But now I need to think about what makes a healthy community. Who do we serve? How do we help the poor? How are we becoming leaders and creating good community? And so they will be working in the Head Start. They will be working at the Juvenile Detention Center. They will be having these mini internships all across our region to say, what does it mean to live in community, and what is my role in it? Their junior year is Who Am I in the World? And that's our cross-cultural trip, which has been going on for many, many, many years. So a student travels with a faculty member either abroad, or if that is something they're not comfortable doing, especially during COVID, we do have experiences in the US that they can go to. We just ask that it be sort of a different cultural experience. So they may go to a Native American reservation. They may go to a different part of the country where people are different than maybe folks that they have been interacting with before. And so they do service learning on those trips. And so then the junior year, of course, St. John the Baptist, as we are a faith-based institution, what then shall we do? So if you notice, the first 3 years are I, then we want them to shift into we, and we ask them to take a problem, a world problem, and solve for it as a community. So these are individual classes. Their capstone project is to solve for a problem and create something better for the world. And so we really feel like these 4 courses were at the heart of our general education program. Every student will take all 4 classes, and we think it is very important that our students graduate with these set of skills that will be embodied in this actual academic and experiential learning group. So we are very, very excited about the Bluffton Blueprint.
I love that.
Yeah,
That's
fantastic.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. And if you need some sort of local pastor to come and help, with the zip lining thing in the Smokies, let me know. I'll be happy to look one up for you.
Yeah, we may take you up on that.
Dr. Wood, thank you so much for being a part of this today. I want to get you out of here on this last question. Favorite food in Marbeck?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have awesome desserts. So I just have to say, our desserts are unparalleled, and our lemon cream tarts.
Ooh,
fabulous.
that sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good. I'm really hungry right now. It's part of why I asked that question. So, well, very cool.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for what you do at Bluffton. Thank you for what you do in the community. I know you're really, really involved in the community as well. And it's just been awesome to get to know you. And thanks for the kind of students that you are helping to put out into the world. We've gotten to experience them, and they are incredible. And so we're just excited to see what's going to continue to come from all of this. So,
Thank you, and thanks to the 2 of you for all the good work that you do. Together, our institutions, I really believe we're making the world a better place. And certainly right now, we need all of the healing and positive momentum that we can get. So thanks to you too.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right. Well, you have a great rest of your day, and go Beavers.
Go Beavers.
All
Take
right,
care.
Take care.
That last question was dirty. I was just telling you today how
hungry you are
all the time.
You're looking good, man.
Thanks, man.
You're looking good.
Been trying to lose weight.
Losing a little bit of weight.
I'm hungry all the time.
No, Marbeck. So that's the cafeteria. If you didn't figure that out, but I remember taking my college visit there, and I liked a lot of things about Bluffton, but probably the thing that sealed the deal. Like, this blew my mind. I know this is probably common at every university. It's the first time I had seen it. Go into Marbeck, and there's a soft serve ice cream machine. I'm like, oh, sweet. How much that cost? Like, oh, no, you can just get that. I'm like, every day? Like, you can have it for breakfast if you want. It's like, oh, my gosh. Soft serve ice cream whenever I want. I'm going to Bluffton. Like, I was so excited. Like, just that blew my mind. Somebody coming from a county school cafeteria where it's like you've got one option. This is what you are eating today, or pack something else that you want. And they go in there and they're like, oh no, it's a world of possibility. Yeah, ice cream in every meal. Like, oh, I'm so happy.
I had started out at big schools.
Right.
And then went to Findlay. And when I went to Findlay, it was kind of the beginning of the end of their them being a religious school. They had just changed their name from Findlay College to the University of Findlay, and their affiliation with the Church of God was
more in name only kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And the kids didn't have to take chapel anymore and all that stuff. And now at the time though, Findlay had had a really good religion department. Mm-hmm. But actually Emily Teague, who was with us for a while, she was I think the last religion student there.
Last
at the
religion
time.
major. Yeah.
She was
kind of like the last of the dodos.
Yeah, she was like the only one. And when I went there were plenty.
Yeah.
And so I always kind of admired that about Bluffton. That and kind of wish. I mean, I did much better at a small school for sure. And I always admired that about Bluffton, that they kept the faith component intact. So.
Bluffton's interesting because there's I remember going and doing my visits and visiting a lot of. I knew I wanted a smaller school, and I wanted a religious, something religious based, faith based organization, and everything's different for everybody. For me, Bluffton was a nice fit because it's chapel. A lot of people went to chapel. It was not required. You didn't have to go to chapel. And a lot of people didn't go to chapel. And same today. It's the same kind of thing. They also had Sunday morning worship. You don't have to go, but you can, and a lot of people did. There were other places where it's like, nope, everybody's got to go. And then there were some places where you're like, is there chapel? I don't know if there is.
You're
so
right.
It was like this kind of nice happy medium for me. But yeah, that's kind of an interesting thing that not a lot of schools are still doing that, but I do appreciate that, and I do think that our experience with some of the students has been really awesome. And this isn't just to show this an advertisement for Bluffton University, but it is a partnership that we've kind of formed, this ministry partnership. James went there and helped lead their worship stuff in chapel for a while. That was cool, and I think that's a huge part of what got a lot of them end up kind of coming back this way. And so, we've just kind of formed this really cool partnership, and we've got Marcella there now that we're supporting, that's kind of doing some stuff with some of the students and starting up a ministry. It has a name now, it's Refuge. And so doing a lot of really cool stuff with some of the students there. So it's just, great to be able to kind of pour into them. I was having a conversation with somebody from another church that I won't mention, but they're saying, man, how do you guys have college students at your church? It's like, I don't know. we went there when they said they needed help, and by we I mean James, and then told them that hey, come hang out with us, and we want you to come be a part of this. It was more than just offering pizza. It was like, hey, yeah,
I think
let's do this thing together.
Making them a part of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is the big thing.
Yeah, sure, you matter. Come on in. You're part of the family. You don't have to go through any hoops or anything. You don't have to go to our Sunday school class or whatever. Just come be a part of it. Whatever your faith background is, we just want you to come hang out. So, yeah, it's been really neat and been really awesome to have them.
Right, and it was a perfect timing thing because they were reducing staff a little bit and that type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for years, I think I've mentioned this before, for years everybody was like, we're in a Findlay, we're in a college town, why don't we have a college program?
Because they're doing great.
Yeah,
They've got their thing happening.
Yeah, all the kids live within an hour and a half of here.
They'll
They're
go
gone
home
on the weekends.
Yeah.
Thursday night it's rocking at Weinbrenner, their chapel service.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah,
It's pretty cool.
We kind of just happened to stumble on Bluffton.
Yep.
Right
Of
at
course,
the right
Holly
time.
works there, and so
Right.
she knows a lot of the students and stuff like that too. So anyway, it's just been a really cool thing, and it just makes it all the better that I have a degree from there. So, anyways,
But you're a Beaver.
that's right. Go Beavers. Go Beavers. So it's funny because our girls now, because Holly works there, there's like a list of schools that they can go to because Holly works there and get a discount. So I keep like hinting there, and they're like, I don't necessarily want to go to a school where my mom's going to be there. It's like, oh, but come on. So anyway, go ahead and wrap things up. But thank you so much to Dr. Wood for coming and being a part of this conversation, and again for what she does for the campus and the community. I know she's on we didn't even get into this, but she's on a ton of different boards. She's been on think tanks for the West Ohio Conference. I mean, she's done a lot of really, really great stuff in the community. Hasn't even been at Bluffton that long, but has been doing some great stuff. So thankful for her. Again, stuff coming up. Reverend Barry Burns is going to be preaching this week. Doug Kendrick next week. Baptism's the week after that. We've got the 6K coming up. All sorts of good stuff. Vacation Bible School coming up. And again, watch for a link to sign up for times to meet and just chat with Dave and I, or either one. You can have us both. You can have one or the other. We don't care. We'll do whatever. And probably have some coffee at the same time.
Yep.
It'll probably be one of those things where we like sit at a coffee shop all day a couple of times, and we'll just be wired by the end of the day.
Yeah.
So if you get us for like the late afternoon meeting, we'll just be like, "Hey, how are you doing? What's going on?" You know, it's like excited to see you.
Kelly says she's ready for coffee with the pastors.
Kelly's excited. Kelly, watch for that link to come out, and we will absolutely, we'll make that happen for sure. So I think that's it. I was just looking because James texted me something, texted us something. I was like, is this important? Is this important? Is there some sort of show note we need? No. He texted us a picture of if you turn a microwave on its side, it looks really happy. It's like you weren't even paying attention.
It says, I turned my microwave onto its side today, and he obviously loves it. It's great. It's a great picture.
It is a great.
This is the brain trust of Church Chat. So, all right. Thanks so much for being with us today. Services 9 a.m. traditional, 11:15 contemporary. Hope to see you at St. Mark's this weekend. We will also be live online on YouTube and Facebook. You can find those links at stmarksfinley.org. And I think that's it. James, you ready to play us out? Man, you're like plugged in. You're not just playing into that microphone. You are wired in. You are wired for sound.
I have this thing that allows me to do this. I haven't plugged it in until this morning. So.
The unique music stylings of James Adkins. All right. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Have a good week.
Take care.
It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave. Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.
Wawa.